Hello, everyone, and welcome to Superhero Speak. I'm your host, Dave.
I'm your host, Don.
And yes, we're back together again.
We're here.
We're here. We're going to be talking about apparently the bad guys from WW2. I had my tablet, which I use to monitor the show. I had the volume all the way up. We're going to talk about.
Not muted.
No, we're going to be talking about the bad guys from WW2. Apparently, we're also got a little bit of news came out about Marvel Zombies. We'll talk about that. But we got some trailers. We got a video game trailer for Wolverine. We got a Star Wars Visions trailer and Starfleet Academy. So, lots of things to talk about this week. Having all that said, how are you, sir? What is new in your world?
Well, not too much new, to be completely honest with you. Just been busy, just been working. And so kind of have a boring life. You know, the Browns, I know I celebrated them last week, but, it's rare that they win. It's even rarer by 1,000 times for them to win 2 in a row. So, certainly that's not the case, unfortunately. Other than that, I would say I'm bumming a little bit. So I don't know if some way we get some super chats tonight or something help Don pay for video games. Final Fantasy Tactics is, basically re-releasing, getting the remake treatment here in a couple of days. And, because I'm pulling back for the old Comic-Con there.
Right.
I know I want to buy some shit. So I'm like, okay. Which, to be honest, once you get outside of that initial, like, oh, it's out, I wish I could play it. Video games these days, particularly with Steam and whatnot, they come out with like sales that are just awesome. If you wait a year or so after its release. So
yeah,
it may be for the best in the end. We'll see. But it really would be cool if I could buy it in a couple days. So please, I'll be your dancing monkey tonight.
Yeah,
Dave, get your organ grinder out and start.
Like the monkey with the cymbals. Ding,
ding,
ding.
How about you, Dave? Anything new going on with you?
Well, I don't want to put salt in the wound, but there are currently 2 undefeated teams in the NFL. The Buffalo Bills and the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean,
both quarterbacks we could have had, but we chose differently.
Well, your loss was my gain.
Indeed.
But, I mean, other than that, joyful news for the city of brotherly love. My hair is sticking up.
Well, hey, at least you have hair to stick up.
So I had said on the show, I think last week, that I had a friend who passed away, and the funeral was yesterday, and so that led to a whole. Well, first off, before I get to the funeral, normally I stay at my girlfriend's on Saturday night. We go shopping or something on Sunday morning.
Yeah, shopping. That's what you do when you stay at your girlfriend's on Saturday night.
And then she'll drop me off, and then I get ready for the show and whatnot, have dinner and all that stuff. But the funeral was at night, and she had to pick her son up, who was coming home this weekend to get ready for next weekend for the Renaissance Fair. He had stuff he had to do. And
you said this was a night funeral?
Yeah.
Well, that's dark.
So So long story short, I stayed at her house Friday. She dropped me off Saturday. Um, she pulls away, and we did go grocery shopping. So I brought my groceries in. I'm putting them away, and then I'm like looking for my phone. You know, the whole like I put my phone
Oh
down.
yeah.
I can't find it. So I tell
The
my
initial rush of anxiety, that
I tell
you're
my son to call my phone so I can find it. And
you leave yours on ring actually? Like that doesn't even work anymore for me or anyone I know.
oh yeah, no, I leave it on ring.
Okay.
And of course, Karen answers the phone and she goes, "It's in my car." And she was already, she lives about a half hour away from me, so she was
Yeah.
already in her neighborhood.
Oh no.
And I was just like, "Oh, don't worry
Yeah.
about it. We'll figure it out later."
Yeah.
And but I was, for those who don't know, I talked about this on the show before plenty of times. I don't drive, so my plan was to just take an Uber to the funeral, but like you don't have your phone, you can't call for an Uber. I was able to borrow one, um, and I was able to get there and whatnot. Um, so yeah, the
Are you
wait, what? I'm
okay.
sorry, I got distracted by a comment. We'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
So um So yeah, so the viewing was 6 to 7:30, and then they had a small service. This is all right in the funeral home. 7:30 wrapped it up. But
Yeah.
one of our like so this is a friend group that a lot of us have known each other since we were like 10, you know,
Yeah.
and we've all remained friends all of these years. And then um one of my best friends, Tim, this was his husband, Billy, who like they had been together for 27 years. And um I'm not going to go into the gory details because like he had got diagnosed with cancer 10 years ago. They'd given him a 5-year prognosis, and he actually was doing much better than they ever thought he was going to. And he didn't actually technically didn't actually die from the cancer. There was a weird complication related to it. So but that was so it was just tough because as fans of this, people who've been with us for a long time know that my wife passed away 5 years ago. So when I get there, the first thing he says to me is like, "Oh, meeting of the widowers club," and it just hit me like a ton
Oh
of bricks.
yeah.
But yeah, so one of our friends had this idea of like, well, let's take him out afterwards, right? Because he did it at night, so there was no luncheon or anything planned.
Yeah.
Um, and there wasn't going to be a graveside service or anything because he was cremated, and he's going to bury him later.
Yeah.
So we went to a bar that's local to me afterwards, but was out till almost 1 o'clock.
All right. Yeah. Getting
Uh,
drunk. Huh? Turned up. All right.
not quite drunk, but buzzed, and I was just like,
Yeah.
and then I wake up at 7 a.m.
Ooh, yeah. That's a
and I just
not
couldn't
great
fall
day.
back to sleep, so I just have been dragging all
Yeah.
day. And yeah, and I watched the show we'll talk about in a second. And
All right.
that was the thing too, I was having a hard time just like concentrating watching it. I don't know what it was. It was
Well,
just like
sure.
I was like anxious or something watching it. um
Hmm.
and I guess I ended up having good reason for that.
Yeah.
So
I'd say
Hunter
so.
Iggy, superhero speak, who do you guys think is over, man? Who do we think is over?
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know.
Is that
Well,
like
please
I think
elaborate.
that's some sort of like wrestling speak. I've heard that,
Uh
when I watch Mike and JD, they're, oh, this person's over. So who's getting pushed right now? I don't know. Peacemaker and James Gunn's wife. There you go. She's actually that's a great question. And that's my answer actually. James Gunn's wife, and I'm so sorry that I can't remember her name. For those who may take offense that I only refer to her as another man's wife, but I'm sorry.
Okay. Harcourt.
Harcourt. Well, that's her fictional name. She's a real person with a real name, and so we'll have it here soon, I'm sure.
Jennifer
who is
Holland.
Overman in Earth X. Oh, I got okay. I got you. Totally different context. And I'm not showing the audience.
Okay. I'm sorry.
In response to our ignorance, Hunter Iggy says, "I mean, who is Overman in Earth X?"
I don't know. They have James Gunn has come out and claims that Superman is not going to be in this season, but that doesn't mean
Overman.
Exactly. That does not mean.
And I have unconfirmed, anonymous sources, because you don't have to do any of that these days. Deep inside DC, that it's Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill Overman.
That would be a fun,
because we keep. Well, I'm not going to explain it. My sources. But yeah.
All right. Well, then since that question was related, let's get into it. We had said from the beginning there obviously is something wrong with this parallel universe that Peacemaker is running away to. And it's funny because I did kind of say this in the beginning, like, well, White Dragon is a white supremacist, but all of a sudden he's a good guy because his other son didn't die. We thought maybe there would be some kind of like emotional arc about that, but no, he's still a white supremacist. So obviously those who are DC fans know that the reveal is the alternate universe is Earth X. For those who don't know, Earth X is one of the DC multiverse pre-crisis worlds where the Nazis won World War II and took over the United States. And, the superheroes are, for the most part, are evil, and they're, part of the Nazi regime. So, I don't know how many of the details we need to get into the episode. I did like the Adrian storyline in this vigilante, where he goes to his house and his house is the same. His dad, oh, my dad's not gay in this universe. Which there could be something more behind that, because if it's Nazi rule, if it's we keep saying that the bad guys from World War II rule,
right? Like he could still be gay, but just can't come out as such.
Exactly.
Although in truth, I actually think the Nazis did actually promote male on male. But anywho, either way, that could be. I'm sure they don't expect people to know that. But yeah, I agree. I liked. So listen, I'm really settling to the show and enjoying it, actually. I just wish that the first episode, because, if I sit down, hey, watch this cool superhero show, or this cool, funny, crude superhero show. And in episode 1, they're getting slow motion orgy. It's like, but since then we've been pretty reasonable with everything, and I like it so far. I like the writing. I like the idea that, to me, Adrian Vigilante, he is my favorite character of the show.
He's a Nexus being.
Okay, I definitely can't disprove that.
He's in both universes. He's the same person. With the difference is he's not friends with Peacemaker, because Peacemaker is evil in this universe, but he's a good guy. He's a nerd. He likes the same things, has the same feelings about things. It was just like,
as many drugs, though. It seems there's
Yeah,
a little
but
more.
that
Either way, I agree. No, everything's the same about him, and
yeah,
hence why, because Peacemaker and the top trio, they're into the Nazi shit, and so yeah, that is great about the character of Adrian is that even in this reality, he's like, no, fuck that. I don't. I'm his enemy. I'm against
yeah,
everything he stands for. So, Adrian's still in a world where it'd be easier for him to just go with it.
right.
Fighting fighting for those being oppressed, which you got to respect. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's the MVP for sure.
Um,
Um,
good.
yeah, no, I'm sorry. I'm trying to think of
Well,
well,
I
Earth X. I'm glad that you kind of, and I've seen stuff online. I'm glad that you clarified that because I don't know that much about DC. I don't consider myself, and I've never heard of Earth X in DC before. But
okay.
one of my favorite graphic novels, because the artist is Alex Ross, is Earth X for the Marvel. It's Earth X
Yes.
and there's Universe X. So I've been a little bit confused when I've seen people like, oh yeah, this is Earth X. Like, oh, that's Marvel. But yes, so appreciate the clarification.
Um, and you were right. Let's start off with you were 100% right. The episode starts off. They're in a diner eating after they have fought a giant kaiju, and you didn't
Yeah.
get to see it at all. Did that upset you a little bit?
I was over it. I mean, yeah. I mean, it does upset me, but I'm over it. This show is it is oddly a tad cerebral, which I
Mm-hmm.
enjoy. It's overall though mostly a comedy, but they and I think they do a good job of getting cerebral. So I was over it.
Okay.
Still would have cool to see, but I'm over it.
Yeah. So, and then they. Uh, I'm not going to go into all the details, right? Because Adrian decides to go off find himself, and like at first he's going to shoot himself, and then he says, "No, I'm you from another universe," and like they headed off. They're thick as thieves, just like that. Um, where economists and oh, I can't think of her name. Uh,
We
um,
can never think it's ads, right? That's
yeah,
the
ads.
abbreviated.
Yeah, it's ads are stuck at the house, um, the Peacemaker's house, and the his brother found um Harcourt
Hardcore.
hiding in his room, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm here to pick up this." Picked up a snow globe and said, "Okay, we'll take it to the headquarters." And of course, uh, Peacemaker shows up, knows it's not her, and they have the conversation. Um,
Well, what's funny though, that whole thing is actually funny. So before they go through the dimensional door,
yeah,
they're in Adrian's basement, where his mom and shit can't have access, and he has a room of just a bunch of fucking Beanie Babies. Um, which is funny because my wife has a collection of Beanie, not like all out and displayed and shit. But anyway, so that's the door they decide to use for the dimensional rift.
right,
Which I thought that was hilarious. But anyway, in his basement,
right.
he's got millions of dollars, multiple millions of dollars worth of like cocaine, fentanyl,
Right.
and when they use that dimensional rift thing, it like explodes a little bit. There's a big fucking shockwave,
Yeah.
and so they just all get covered in fucking drugs. And so fast forward to this scene where Harcourt goes to that Argus, and yeah, there's like drug sniffing dogs there that go crazy. She's got a little bit of residue on her,
Right.
and that's why she gets arrested. But yeah, then Peacemaker gets to kind of interrogate her, and that's where they have this emotional conversation. Uh, so anyway, I thought that was funny, and I
Yeah.
wanted to mention it before you move past that plot point.
No, and yeah, because I think that was an important plot point. I mean, it's silly that they would have a drug sniffing dog standing guard in Argus, but maybe bomb sniffing, but drug sniffing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Oh, also, I'm sorry, before you go, MVP Adrian, when they ask him, like, why the fuck do you have all this money and drugs and shit? Why don't you just give it to the cops? He's just like, oh, the fucking cops are probably corrupt. So he's keeping all
right.
that shit.
And then it was like, well, why don't you spend the money? Oh, it's blood money. You're always
Okay,
saying you're poor, but
yeah,
you've got all this.
And they start shoving it.
And they start shoving it in their pockets. It's like, yeah, it's blood money. Don't spend it.
Yeah. Oh, it's hilarious. That's great. See, that's what I'm talking about. That is top notch. I'll give James Gunn that. Just if you could leave nudity and pornography out of it, that would be great.
So then back in our Earth, we get our first real major cameo. I mean, we did get Green Lantern and Hawkgirl in the first episode, but
yeah,
we get James Holt's Lex Luthor. Rick Flag goes to visit him in prison and asking him if he's got, the MacGuffin, the device that's going to allow them to find the multidimensional door. And, he's negotiating with, well, if you want it, what are you going to give me? And essentially they're going to put him in a lower security prison.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like there was maybe more given to him that, like, because they cut away and I don't show the end of the conversation. And then when he leaves, the cyborg's there, and it's like, what did you give him? And like he's kind of cagey about what he gave him. So
well, yeah, they just moved him to another prison, like a less intense prison.
The rumor is that's a setup for Man of Tomorrow. So
I can definitely see that, but I got to tell you, I am confused at this point. Because it seems like this timeline that we're talking about right now is the timeline that Superman happened, and I'm Captain Obvious.
Yeah. So
was that this Peacemaker in the Superman movie that they interviewed? I thought, I don't know. I was really thinking this was going to be in some sort of alternate dimension, but no, I mean, they're really going for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this Lex Luthor, back to the original question and my retort, I think I think that's absolutely true. This is showing him obviously having a connection, obviously exchanging favors, with Argus or the American government, whatever you want to say.
Right.
So that is making it more of a progression to where it's more believable that the next Superman movie he's gonna be working, as a hero, pseudo hero. I mean, he's working for years and shit off of his multiple life sentences. So hero may not be the most apt label, but just establishing that he's working with the good guys at least. So again, but I don't know how I feel about that, because this is Peacemaker, slow motion, dongs flapping in the wind. So, if some kids just watch the Superman movies, like, it's starting to like pull us in, where it's just getting to where it's like, oh, I got to see this sort of territory.
Yeah.
So I don't know about that. I don't know. Since it's not PG-13, it goes hard, almost X. I guess I just disagree with it being as important as it is.
True. I forgot. There's something else that's important to point out. So
at least I'm sorry.
A character was referenced in this show who's not part of the DC universe.
Yes, thank you. So the Spider-Man, right? Your boy. Yes. They referenced the Spider-Man meme.
Yeah, Adrian's they're like the one Adrian pretends he web shoots the other, and he goes, "Did you just like he even says it? Did you just Spider-Man me?"
Yes.
And they start doing it to each other, and it's just like, wait, what?
No. I thought they say Spider-Man meme. They stayed straight. Doesn't matter really.
Right. They said
It's just
Spider-Man. That's the
yeah, they
important
said
part.
exactly. They acknowledge the existence of the Marvel universe in some way, shape, or form within this DC universe, which is a major thing, but is not unprecedented because even in the comics,
Yes.
they they reference the existence of one another. Uh, but that's cool that yeah, they're doing it here now in this. Marvel has. We'll see if Marvel reciprocates. I guess. Um, because they did it both ways in the comics, but the Marvel MCU has never referenced any DC characters. So
No.
DC popping the cherry here, I guess, of comic universe
Is that
references.
is that the is that the proper term?
No, that's the most improper term
Okay.
that anyone could ever use in that situation. But
Uh
I'm me, so
this is true. Um so yeah, so I do feel like that was kind of a setup for uh Man of Tomorrow. And it's funny because yeah, like James Gunn came out and said Superman's not in it, but yet there have been pictures on social media of Superman hanging out with the cast of Peacemaker, who the only character that was in the Superman movie was John Cena's Peacemaker. So, like,
yeah.
you know, did they all go to the set, when they were filming? Or
I'm
did,
sure that at the very least they're smoke screening.
yeah, I think you're right. So, we'll see. Hopefully, I love that idea. Just bring Cavill in just to do,
Yeah, good, right?
yeah, just to do
Yeah,
Overman. Like that would be cool. That would be, yeah.
yeah, man.
Oh man.
Got good ideas up here. I'm sorry, not a good idea. I heard it from my unanimous, unverified, unexplained source that is deep within
Yes.
Warner Brothers, the James Gunn and Saffron camp. Because they do
There
that.
you
They camp,
go.
apparently. I
It's
hear
a
that all the
camp.
time. I always hear people say this camp, that camp. I'm like, well, there's a lot of camps. I've been to Washington D.C. There doesn't seem like a lot of places to camp. I mean, I did see a camp under an overpass, but that didn't look like a place you'd want to be. I don't know why I randomly rolled into a troll against Washington D.C. I will apologize for it,
Will you?
though. I'm sorry.
No, I'm not. Uh, so yeah. It'd be interesting if they also bring in a. I'm trying to think what the Batman's character is called in Earth X. It's like, um, it doesn't matter. It'd be interesting if they bring in the evil version of Bruce Wayne before they bring him into the DCU proper.
I mean, that's my one hesitation with all this. We just kicked off. First of all, if you've listened or watched the show before, you know I'm already on shaky ground with Peacemaker even being continuity in the new DC. Um, but yeah, now with us already getting into multidimensional shit right at the start of it, you had a successful launch with Superman, great film. Um, Following up with this kooky duke bullshit, I'm just, I don't know. I don't know. But with that said, I think it'll work. I just yeah, it's weird. It's a lot to start off with. But I appreciate that as well. I like that sort of thing. So, but we do need new
True.
people. You need new blood, though. We got to have that, or this all goes away.
True.
All right,
So,
soapbox down.
so ads decides to go for a walk,
Oh man, poor ads.
and as she's
Super
walking
hot,
down
by
the
the way.
street, all she needs is these people staring at her, and then Peacemaker's brother's driving down. He sees her. He stops his car. He gets out. He points at her and says, a black. And everyone starts coming out of their house going, I'll get her, get her. And then they start chasing, running after her. And she starts running down the street. And then, of course, they're Hardcourt and Peacemaker are walking. She's about to leave Argus after they had their heart-to-heart conversation. And she goes, don't you think there's anything weird about this universe? And he's like, what? There's not one person of color. I haven't seen one person of color. And he's like, huh? Like, because he hadn't noticed. And then he picks up, on the desk, there's a little American flag sitting there. He picks it up. And of course, instead of the field of stars, it's the swastika. And then, of course, the Hardcourt of this universe comes in and goes, arrest that. That's not me. Arrest her. That's not me.
Yeah. Boy, I got to tell you, you wouldn't think so. And, it's specific to me. But to see that American flag with the swastika over it, I have a great grandfather that fought in World War II. And unfortunately, it's not a glorious story. It's one where, those ramps come down, on the boats that take them to the Normandy Beach and Omaha Beach, and they just get riddled with fucking gunfire and die. He's one of those dudes. But nonetheless, so just, that whole thing, like it actually really did suck to even see that, to even bear the thought of such a thing. I don't know.
Unfortunately, I had seen that image online before I watched the episode, so I knew that was coming, But yeah, no, I agree. Like, it's not something you want to see ever. And then White Dragon finds Economist in the house and like tackles him, stabs his hand, and so pins him down by stabbing his hand to the floor, and like he's like, who are you? And like he spills the whole thing.
Yeah,
your son.
He's like, why am I saying this? It's paraphrasing. I don't think it was a direct quote, but yeah,
like totally scared. He's like, oh, your son's not your son. He's actually from another universe. He killed your son.
What I like? You know what I like about Economist? Like, he's not shy about telling people, like, I'm not into any of this. I'm a fuck up. Like, this is a bad idea. He never at once professes, I'm part of the team. You can count on me.
He's a coward, and he knows it.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then that's basically how the episode ends. So a lot happens, a little bit of setup for future things. And
where's Judo Master? Which it kind of explains, though, he probably already assessed, oh fuck, I'm in a Nazi America and I'm a little Asian guy. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's a good question. Like,
yeah, no, I wanted to hear you say that. It's great. I'm on one tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Oh shit, you can't say that. I'm sorry, you shouldn't say ladies and
gentlemen. Anyway, you're right. Like, maybe he did figure it out right away, and he's in hiding somewhere. Well, here's the thing, and kind of knowing how James Gunn writes, if we do not see him before the final episode, that's going to be at the end of the last episode. You're going to see him hiding somewhere on Earth X, and that's how the show is going to end, as a joke cliffhanger thing where he's stuck on Earth X, or he's going to be, when they're trying to escape, he's going to be the guy that jumps out and helps them get away from the Nazis.
Get out of there.
Yeah, because he wants to get out of there. So, so we'll see. Then again, how would have he gotten into that universe? Because how would he have known John's code to open the door? So,
Right. Yeah, you're right. He could be chilling wherever the fuck that is, in between dimension.
We'll call it the DC Void.
DC Floyd.
You know, like the Marvel Void, but nicer.
Right. Nicer.
Gentler. Good place to store your Peacemaker helmets.
Because nobody fucks with anything in that dimension because
I
there's
know.
some sort of universal God pact.
So, so before we get to the the video and the rest of the news, like I put this out in the news, but this is related. So, the one thing that came out of this, of course, one of the most popular games out there that all the kiddies are playing, Fortnite, is known to have skins of characters, and they'll have Marvel and DC characters, and there's a Peacemaker skin, and there's an an emote that they have where he's doing the dance from the beginning of the show, right? But now it's come out that's like, well, that was actually a hint that it was Earth X, and because of the way he moves his arms, it could be interpreted as a swastika. And I'm like, can it really? Like, I thought that was a bit of a stretch, but of course they've already disabled that emote in Fortnite, because they don't want to get in trouble for, anything that could be a hate symbol in their game. I don't know. Do you think that was the right move, or do you think it was a bit of an overreaction?
Oh, it's an overreaction all the live long day. I mean, because really the only thing that solidified that as a Nazi reference is the fact that there was a old Donald Duck cartoon from back in the day where he's a Nazi and he does that exact dance. So I absolutely think that him doing that dance could potentially have been like a deep cut preview of the Earth X here.
Yeah.
So listen, I mean, I don't blame Fortnite. I mean, I get it. I think it's a stretch. I think it's a very, very precautious.
Yeah.
But shit happens. I mean, you put beep bop boop on your Twitter and you lose your job.
True.
So I can say, oh, this is fucking crazy all day long, but that's the world I live in.
I kind of feel like if it hadn't gone all over social media, people saying, "Oh, it's a Nazi symbol," no one would have thought anything of it, and that would have been that. But I also find it weird. Like, I'm going to be honest. I find it weird. Like, people at DC knew what they were doing, right? They sit there and they're like, "Oh, James Gunn's been in. He's very secretive about the last 3 episodes of the season, and blah blah blah." But yet, he's also the guy that's in charge of everything. So he's involved with licensing. He's involved with them saying they're going to use this in Fortnite. And he's not an idiot. He knows how the world is. Like, he had to have given them some kind of warning. Like, oh, you might not like, when it's revealed, you guys might not like what that, possibly means.
Yeah.
I
mean, ultimately, it's all for naught, though. It really is all for naught. I may not disagree with the move as a company because you're being super precautious, but you can't prove me wrong, so I can claim this. I employ an ultra super secret ninja that is a source of news for me, and he tells me that none of the kids, which is everyone that plays, none of them give 2 shits about any of this, and they couldn't have ever have told you that this was a Nazi dance or all for naught anyway.
Well, your super secret ninja,
unanimous ninja, yep,
anonymous ninja. Oh my god, anonymous ninja. That's a superhero character if I've ever heard of one.
There you go.
He's probably right, and He also revealed to me
That's right,
that
buddy.
the makers of Fortnite knew this, and they're just
Yeah.
using it as publicity to get more
Bam.
people to
Yep.
talk about, get Fortnite in the news cycle again. So
Mm-hmm.
um so Hunter has a question here. He says, "Do you think GI Robot will show up, or do you see our Peacemaker make killing again and the other dad and brother?" That's a really good question. There's 2 episodes left, and James Gunn is not one to. He did it in season 1, so I don't see him doing it in season 2, where everything happens in episode 7 and 8's just a wrap up episode. Like, no, like everything went down in the last episode, and there's just a wrap up at the end. So I do think they're going to follow him. Uh, the father and the brother are going to follow him, like, because again, you watch the preview for next week. It does show them making it to the door and running through it real quick. I think they're gonna realize what's going on. He's from a because that's another thing too. They haven't like said if they never referenced the multi-dimensional door, the father and the brother, but it's in the house, so they have to know it exists. You know, um, so but that being said, uh, they see him running through. GI Robot would be cool, but I can't see. Would he exist in on Earth X?
Well,
He's
I've seen that he is going to be in a live action at some point.
yeah.
So could be this. I mean, because he's a World War II anti-Nazi murder machine.
Right. So, like, it would be cool to bring him in, but at the same time, wouldn't he been dismantled or reprogrammed in this Earth? Or was he destroyed?
Maybe, unless like it's something that Adrian has. Because again, his room is dramatically
Ah,
changed in this dimension. So it's definitely something that
that's
he
not a
could
bad
have as
thought.
being part of the opposition. So, but I
Yes.
totally think that Peacemaker is going to have to kill his father and brother again, because if his character is anything, it's something that he just gets shitted on. I mean, it's just
And
straight up. He gets shitted on. It has to do shit like that.
it's funny too, like, because this is Earth X is like an older thing they've brought back a couple
Mm-hmm.
times, but it's not like, I don't think it's a real prevalent thing in DC, like they've used it a couple times. But like from what I've read up on it to get ready for tonight, like Sons of Liberty is the resistance team in the comics. So when they said Sons of Liberty, like I think probably everyone should have got it right then and there. Because didn't they
Oh,
call them,
see, I didn't. See, thank you for telling me that, because
didn't
no, I
because
didn't.
I've been thinking about that. Didn't those terrorists who were gonna blow up that building and John went in and killed them all? Didn't they say they were Sons of Liberty? Someone said Sons of Liberty, I thought,
Ooh,
in
I
that
don't
episode.
remember, but I bet you they did.
So like that should have been the biggest hint right then and there. And of course,
Yeah.
Adrian says that that's why he joined them, because of
Yeah. See,
Peacemaker.
I didn't. I totally didn't, because I don't know nothing about. I don't want to say nothing about DC, but I don't. Yeah, he said Sons of Liberty. I thought, oh, Metal Gear Solid 4, sweet. Um, but no, but
No, no.
no, it's something DC.
Yeah, it's the resistance in that world. So, huh. So yeah, I love the idea of Henry Cavill showing up as the evil Superman. Like,
Oh, you brought that back. That's awesome. I'm glad I could
yeah.
that reference for you. See, my
Um,
source is Superhero Speak, #1 superhero podcast on the internet.
yes.
I got
Yes.
ninjas,
Anonymous
secret
ninjas.
sources that I'll never have to name, because you don't have to do that shit anymore.
No, you don't.
So yeah.
No. I have
So come here.
a really good source that says yes, this is the greatest um superhero podcast on the internet. Like
All
there's
my
none
kids
better.
say
So
so, and I have multiple.
yeah, there you go. Um
Okay, I lied. My 16-year-olds, thinks I'm lame, but he's also a teenager. So,
Well,
you know.
yeah, that's a teenager's job. All right. Well, that's, that is episode 6 Peacemaker. 2 more to go. We're excited to see the end. Let us know in those comments down below. Are you excited to see the finale? And what do you think is going to happen? I'm looking for predictions. I'm curious what people think. Maybe we'll talk about that on the next episode. But on that note, let's take a quick break and have our good friend Darth Don tell you where you can find more superhero speak.
Darth Don here. You must subscribe to Superhero Speak if you haven't already. And if you have already, make another account and subscribe again. You also will like this video. And while you're on the HoloNet, go to superheroespeak.com. Find the links to our merch and purchase one of our shirts. Don't skimp on the shipping, or else I will trap you in a box with an agitated Gundog named Brie Larson. I would just force lightning you, but we don't have that in the effects budget. Now, back to the show.
No, because our effects budget all went to pay for the Anonymous Ninja. All right, we got a little bit of news.
You're gonna see Dark Don, because you don't want to get sued. We don't want to call him Darth.
Oh, okay.
You will see him at New York Comic Con. So I got to figure out when that's. I guess what day do we have the least amount of interviews or whatnot? I don't know, but look for us. And of course, like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Give us a comment. Thank you, Hunter Iggy, for joining us tonight. And apparently, Kassan is watching football, which boo on him because it looks like this episode is going to be a long one. 45 minutes before we played Dark Dawn there, which, of course, counterweighs against the fact that we started with it last episode. So appreciate the strat there, Dave. There we go.
Yes. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications. All right. So the little bit of Marvel news that we have, MCU news.
Yeah.
This has been making the rounds. Apparently, the one of the creators of Marvel Zombies came out and said that the show was actually completed for over a year, but it was sitting on a shelf because Agatha all along was slated to come out at Halloween time last year, and they didn't want to compete with themselves on Disney Plus. I call bull. I mean,
interesting.
Well, because not I don't call bull on his statement. I call bull on the decision because, okay, but then why did it come out now and not end of October, Halloween time? Like, it's September. It's not Halloween. It's not Halloween yet.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you want to hit at the spooky ooky time, then hit at least the last week of October. Why release it in September then? You could have released it in September and Agatha in October last year.
Yeah, for some idiotic reason, I actually did not ask that question. That is a good, because I totally get it. They wanted to really come back from a bad place, and Agatha, Catherine Hahn, was a popular character.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously they felt that the Agatha was going to be more successful. Otherwise, they would have come out with Zombies because, again, they really needed to climb themselves out of phase jive.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, phase 5. My mistake. But big but. Cannot lie.
And you cannot lie. Yeah.
Yeah, why wouldn't they wait just another fucking month?
Yeah.
Put this out during October. Why do fucking stupid people make a lot more money than me?
I don't know. And we said it when we reviewed it. like it's definitely for a niche audience. You know, I don't know that many people that were clamoring for Marvel Zombies. You know,
Yeah.
like it had an 82% or something when we talked about it on Rotten Tomatoes, but I guarantee everyone who is giving it an 82, there are people who are waiting for this, who are the Marvel Zombies fans. You know, so
don't want Wanda Maximoff to be, you know, other than a villain at this point.
Yeah.
No redemption for her. They don't want her to be redeemed.
So, so from that standpoint, it's like, I get why they thought Agatha was going to be stronger, because it also was the spinoff from WandaVision, which was their strongest show.
Yeah.
But I will also argue that they waited too long to release took too long to make and release Agatha. Like
they did. They should have had it out like within a year. Or
sooner. I think
months.
It should have been like 6 months after. What, like, if this is a spinoff from Wanda, then it should have been part of it. And I get it, like, because there's the whole aspect of, is Wanda dead or not, because it came out after Multiverse of Madness, but still, they should have struck while the iron was still hot, you know.
I mean, I agree with all that, obviously, but at least they came with a strong entry. You can freeze frame on Catherine Hahn's butt, which is nice. So, you know, at least I think they were aware and gave us a little something.
At what minute and seconds is the best time to freeze frame?
I don't really know that.
You don't?
Guessed. I'm joshing you.
Oh, are you? I don't know about that.
I've never replayed a moment of Agatha.
Not at all. Nope. I don't know.
On the butt.
So yeah, like, again, I believe that they did it. I'm not denying that. I just feel like it was done in such a poor way that
well, just them not releasing it Halloween alone is like, how much fucking coke are you doing, man? I don't get, but listen, I'm not above this criticism, because obviously I just fucking realized it until you brought it up. But so I guess somebody like me they have in charge, which
yeah, because I read that when they were like,
I'm not a big fan of Halloween, though. I guess that's why I didn't make that as I'm thinking through it and sabotaging your podcast,
right? Because they, that was the whole thing. Like, the Werewolf by Night was released around Halloween time, and then
I know they're usually like right on it.
Yeah,
the fuck,
terrible. Yeah, we need to have our ninja visit the people that are in charge of scheduling on Disney Plus, because
a little kunai to the throat. It's violent, and I do not condone violence.
No, we do not. Not at all. So yeah, that's that. So we did get 3 different, completely weird ends of the spectrum trailers since we last spoke. The one came out while we were on air right before we went on air, and my son was like, "Oh, you should have watched the State of Play from PlayStation. You could have talked about it." But we were already reviewing Marvel Zombies. Was that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So long story short, Insomniac, the same company who makes the Spider-Man games for the PlayStation, is making a Wolverine game for the PlayStation, and it looks interesting. It is highly violent and bloody. I was shocked how bloody this was for a video game, for a comic book video game. And I know you're not into all the blood and gore, but you are an X-Men fan. So what did you think of the trailer?
I'm not into blood and gore, but let's examine the subject here. It's Wolverine.
Yeah.
He's nigh indestructible. And if you're fighting him and you get anywhere close to him, even if you're doing damage to him, he is likely stabbing you in the face and is going to survive, and you're going to die. And that should be bloody. That's his whole, if you're fighting Wolverine, you're getting fucked up. It's going to happen. Wolverine is a wonderful video game comic book character. His Nintendo entries in the video game world notwithstanding, any video game that has starred Wolverine, even if it's named from a shitty movie, is great. And there's literally an X-Men Origins Wolverine game for PS2, and it is fucking wonderful. I love Wolverine games. I don't love that this game was fucking announced like 2 years ago. I'm not a graphics first person, so my first instinct is that this game's taking so long because it looks so good.
Yeah.
And it does. That doesn't make a game fun for me. I'm a very old video gamer, started with the Ataris, where you're looking at fucking squares and shit that you just have to kind of imagine. No, that's a dragon. It's a squiggly thing, but it's a dragon. And that was kind of always part of the fun of video games for me. It's like it presents on the screen, my mind does the rest of the work. This is fun. But anyway, it hasn't been like that for ages. It's always about the latest and greatest. So I don't appreciate the fact that they announced this game 2 years ago, and because they wanted to make it as good as it looks, the development process is that lengthy. That aside, though, Wolverine is a great video game comic book character. His games always kick ass, and it's going to be the same here, and I'm excited. So I'll look forward to a year after its release being able to afford it.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
And I hope Colossus cameos in some way, shape, or form. Like
you got to get a speedball special in there, right?
Yeah,
like,
fastball, but
fastball.
Yeah.
Sorry. So I think I don't disagree with you. I do think that I do have an issue with them announcing these things way before they're even ready to show you anything.
Yeah.
I honestly feel like they should just, once they have a trailer, that's when they announce the game. Not like, oh, we're working on this, But I also understand from the business world aspect that, investors need to know what they're working on, and they don't keep it.
But
top
it's a
secret.
slippery slope. It's a slippery slope because it happened with Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth. At this point, what was it? Fucking 7 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
They released the first trailer for the Final Fantasy VII Remake, which, had us, gave us all stiffies. But then, it comes out, it gets closer or to coming out, and they said, well, it's not a 1-for-1 remake. It's going to be done in 3 installments, And then they release it, and then it's like they're starting to change the actual story.
Mm-hmm.
So, still a good game, though, so far. Still a good series, so I still recommend it. Anyway, but yeah, you got to be careful with that stuff. But you're right. It's way too early for you. Just please make sure you've got more meat and bones to it before you get us excited. Because I fucking forgot this game was coming out until they realized, oh, shit, that's right. That's right. That's actually one of the reasons I bought a PS5. Outside of I wanted to buy it for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. But again, way back when, they talked about this, and I know Wolverine plus video games equals kick ass. So I was in.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. I'm kind of curious what the mechanics are going to be like. Obviously it's not going to be the same as Spider-Man, so
it'll focus way more on the fighting, but you're right, it'll be interesting.
And it's funny because I am one of those, like, when I'm playing, I'm either trying to be as stealth as possible so I don't have to like get into a big brawl, or I'm using my webs and everything for distance fighting as much as possible, or picking things up and swinging them around and hitting people.
Yeah.
So this is obviously going to be a game where you've got to get in close combat. So it's probably going to frustrate me at first.
Yeah. Insomniac doesn't do the Arkham shit, does it?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also awesome.
All right. Then the next trailer, I'm curious. So obviously you're like the biggest Star Wars fan on this podcast.
In existence.
I mean, so much so that you'd even defend the horrible movies.
Shut your mouth.
So I don't think I've ever asked you, what do you think of the Star Wars Visions, right? That's what it's called, right? Star Wars Visions.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the third season, I guess, of Star Wars Visions, which is basically, for those who don't know, they're not reimagining, they're new Star Wars stories, the stories within the Star Wars universe, but told by anime artists.
Yes.
You know,
each episode is a different anime studio.
Yes, a different anime studio.
I was completely flabbergasted why the ex-nameless host was not more into the series, but I digress.
Because, yeah, you're right. Huge Star Wars fan and an anime fan. You would think right up their alley, but I guess not. You're right. They weren't into it. I loved the first season. It was
Fuck
really, yeah. And it's funny because there's one of the episodes, or one of the cartoons that's kind of hints at Luke and Leia, but it really, I don't think they directly say it's, Luke and Leia.
Nope.
Which, like, and I knew there are people who don't like it, but I thought it was a fresh take on on Star Wars. And a lot of people forget that, the original inspiration for a lot of stuff in Star Wars was samurais.
Mm-hmm.
Was Asian culture. So, like, to have the Japanese anime studios come in and, like, do this stuff and, like, have a short where there is, like, a samurai type character walking around with a lightsaber. It's like, oh, cool.
That's so fucking cool. Like, it's a lightsaber that doesn't not ignite, but he can put it in a sheath. He has to put it in a sheath. Like, that's so fucking cool. I love Visions. I not every anime style do I love, but
right.
Some of the stories and what they've done makes me like the black and white shit, but the lightsabers are all red, but everything else is black and white. I fucking hate that. I hate when comic books do that whole white, black, and red bullshit. I don't like it. But it really was cool here.
And in the trailer, there's the one shot, typical Japanese anime, going over the top with that lightsaber that opened up and kind of looks like a Gatling gun.
Yeah.
With all the blades on it. I don't know. What did you think of that?
No, that's great. I love all that shit. I love all the exotic type sabers. So yeah, no, I'm into that 100%.
Yeah. Actually, we should make one of those to walk around New York Comic Con.
Again, there are some of the episodes that I do not like the anime style.
Yeah.
But it really is a cool series.
It's
awesome.
There were clips of one that's very cartoony looking for this season, where there's a female pilot and she puts on a suit that looks like an X-Wing. So it's kind of like a Gundam type idea, I guess, but it's an X-Wing, and it's a suit that she's wearing. So yeah.
Awesome. That's my
crazy ideas.
Star Wars, that you can do anything. Like, you can do all sorts of sword and sorcery, sci-fi shit, spaceship stuff. It's all there, man. It's awesome. Monsters.
I'm curious what JD thinks, because he's one of those that stands by the the how do you say it, revisionist history of over the Ewoks. They showed Ewoks in one of the scenes. We're gonna get Ewoks in this, which I think is cool. I love the Ewoks. I always did. Again, it was a movie made for kids. I was a kid when I watched it. So, yeah. So yeah. Did you freeze? Uh-oh. I think we lost Don. I will keep talking. Hopefully he will come back. I will text him. Well, yeah, because he's frozen on the thing. So, so yeah, as I was saying. Okay, his computer crashed. So while we wait for him to get back, as I was saying, Star Wars Visions, it will be out next month. Should be cool. I think if you're a Star Wars fan, you should definitely check it out. In fact, you know what? I'm curious. Those who are watching now, did you watch the first 2 seasons? What did you think? Let us know in those comments down below, because we like to talk about it. We want to get more interaction here. It's important for us to. We want you to join the conversation, as we always say on the show. So, yeah, and it is hard to vamp by yourself because we normally had 3 co-hosts. You know what? While we're waiting for Don, I'm going to make an announcement. I forgot. We're just going to do it at the top of the show. So while we're waiting for Don to get back online, I would like to make an announcement that we are officially the show traditionally always had 3 hosts, and then of course JD left. He was replaced by Don, and it was me, Don, and John for a while, and then John left the show, and we have not found a replacement for him yet. So I am officially announcing it right now. Superhero Speak is looking for a 3rd. If you have an interest in joining us twice a week, Sunday and Wednesday nights, live here, and talking nerd stuff, mainly superhero and Star Wars and Star Trek type stuff, drop us a line. Drop me a line, Dave@superheroespeak.com, and or hit us up on any of our social media platforms, and we'll talk about it. And, we'll have tryouts like we did before. When JD joined the show, we did have tryouts for that. We had a couple people come on and co-host, and yeah, we would love it if you'd want to join us. And there'll be perks to it. We'll have you'll come join us at New York Comic Con every year. That's always a big show for us. We do press rooms, get to mingle with actors and celebrities at different levels, interview them, and have a great time. We've been invited to do booth tours and all this crazy fun stuff. So, yeah, again, drop me a line, Dave@superheroespeak.com, if you are interested in joining the show and be our 3rd, because we need it. At times like these, when someone's computer crashes and they're not here, and I'm by myself babbling, then I can have someone to babble with while we're waiting for Don to reboot. So yeah, okay, so I'll get to the next article then while we're waiting. The other trailer that came out this week was, Thrawn! Take your weapon. I am unarmed. Strike me down with every second that passes. You make yourself more my Brie Larson. Thank you, Thrawn. That's a good one. If you're just joining us, Thrawn, Don's computer crashed. I'm waiting for it to reboot and for him to rejoin. In the meantime, I've just made an official announcement that we are officially looking for a 3rd co-host to replace John. We've been going for a while, just the 2 of us, but in situations like this, it helps when there's a 3rd because there is always technical difficulties. well, not always, but a lot of times there's technical difficulties. So if someone's having an issue, we can continue on with two instead of just having me babble at a camera uh, incoherently for a while. So yeah, so again, if you are interested, drop me a line at dave@superheroespeak.com or DM us on any of our social media on X, Facebook, uh, here on YouTube, um, uh, TikTok, I guess. I only go on there usually once a day, but yeah, drop us a line on any of our social media, or again, email me directly if you are interested. So, all right, Don is back. He did not hear me make our official announcement. Oh, he's having hearing problems because he's old. I mean, no, because he's trying to connect his headphones back, his wireless headphones. Um, and we lost him again. Great. This is the kind of stuff that drives me nuts. 2025, you think these computers would just work? Kidding. So yeah, again, so the third trailer that came out is something that I actually have been waiting for a long time. So anyone who knows me knows that. Here. Let's see. Try this one more time. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Don? He's playing with his settings. I'm gonna guess he can't hear. His headphones are not working, or
Don't know if you can hear me, but
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah,
You
okay,
can't hear
good.
me. So should we do sign language? You got earbuds? Oh, right. So this is what I was saying. Technical difficulties happen. We need a third who can babble with me when someone has technical difficulties, or babble with Don. Um, and it'll be fun. So Star Trek has finally done it. I have been a Trekkie for a long time, and I remember when the Voyager was ending, and there was always been before Voyager was coming to an. I think Deep Space Nine had ended, and it was before Enterprise, which, let's be honest, no one watched Enterprise. It wasn't a great show. There was always, what's going to be the next project, and I remember early 2000s, maybe late 90s, early 2000s, saying they should do Starfleet Academy. In fact, I'm not the only one. There was a buzz among Trekkies that should be the show. Should we try this again, boys and girls? Because he's back. Can he hear us? Can you hear me? No, you cannot hear me. Do you have wired headphones with a wire? Silly wireless headphones. Mine plug right into my microphone and I can hear everything.
Hey. Welcome to Troubleshooting Hero Speak.
Troubleshooting Hero Speak. I like it.
Yeah. All right. Where were you?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Good. Well, before we get into the last article, the last thing, which I had already started talking about. Now I got to backtrack.
It's a great experience for you, I'm sure.
I also made an official announcement while you were gone. I know
fired. I'm sorry.
We didn't really talk about it. No, this was just the perfect opportunity that we will officially start our search for a third. So if anyone is interested, I told them to drop us a line on our social medias, or they can email me directly at dave@superheroespeak.com, and we will start taking applicants and have them come on and try out.
Yeah. Well, and I will openly admit that I really hope we can get a different, not chubby white guy perspective. So
So a
That'd be great.
thin woman, a thin hottie?
Just a woman. I said it'd be hot, you know.
No, that's sexist.
I don't know if it's sexist, but you know,
But it'll
they
get us
may.
more viewers. So
Well, yeah, but then that'll just be cheap now, wouldn't it?
I'm cheap. I'll be the first to
Although,
admit.
well, now that my hot tub is working, I swear I'm going to do a hot tub stream, I guess, for our Twitch audience of one or two. So we might get that at some point. We'll only lose 1,000 subscribers, I think, maybe
What to say?
1,200.
Might be a scary thought. All right. So our last article. So I've been a Trekkie for a long time. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where you stand on Star Trek. I know you're a Star Wars guy, and there's always been people that are like, oh, you're either Star Wars or Star Trek. I've always been both. Before I ever went to a comic book convention, I went to a Star Trek convention, and yes, I did dress up in a command uniform. So based on Deep Space Nine outfit, and I might actually still have it, but it doesn't fit me anymore. Anyway, but it was like I was starting to say I'd always remembered the time period when, like, I believe Deep Space Nine was ending and Voyager was on, and I'm pretty sure it was before Enterprise. There's always the Trekkies always start talking, well, what's going to be the next? What would be the next good series, right? And there was actually buzz among a lot of the fans at that time. They should do Starfleet Academy, right? And you could do it in the sense of, like, the characters that are the same throughout the show are the teachers, but you can change the students up, right? Because people graduate, they go on to Starfleet to get assigned to ships. You bring in a new batch of recruits, and you can get fresh and different perspectives every season by rotating out the students. And of course they didn't do it, but now here we are, basically 25 years later. They finally said, oh yeah, let's do Starfleet Academy. So as a Trekkie, I'm excited for the concept. Instead of us doing, another prequel, sequel type thing, like, oh, here's the continuing adventures of Picard and crew, or oh, here's how Pike and Kirk got their start, even though they did that in the movies. And it's just like, stop retelling me the story of Captain Kirk's origin, because it's just, like, I don't care that much anymore. It's only one Kirk. It's Shatner. That's it. What did you think of this announcement?
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm not a Trekkie. I have a complicated relationship with Star Trek, and so what I mean by that is, growing up, Star Trek was a big deal to my grandmother, and to a lesser extent my mother. So when the movies came out, their VHS, we'd rent them and we'd watch them. But where it all started to go sour with me is The Next Generation. And what I mean by that is I was too young to actually, or not smart enough to understand Star Wars: The Next Generation. But my grandmother always watched it. Okay. And these were back in the day where there was maybe one, maybe two TVs in the house. And I wanted to play video games. But I can't play video games during Star Wars Next Generation time slot.
Star Trek The Next Generation.
And so I'd have to sit there. Yeah, I'm sorry. Star Trek. So I'd have to sit there and watch that show. Boring, science babble show. Whoopi Goldberg. Didn't quite appreciate, Patrick Stewart at the time. Their adventures at the holodeck. I just thought it was all boring and wanted to get back to playing Zelda.
Oh my goodness.
So, so when it comes to the Star Trek for Star Wars, I'm almost militant in this aspect when it comes to that. I'm Star Wars team all the way. In fact, one of the funniest questions I ever asked a beloved D&D group back in the day, and it sparked quite the controversy and conversation, was who would win in a fight, Chewbacca or Worf? Obviously, I'm saying Chewbacca is destroying Worf. But there were Trekkies in the group. They were like, nope. This is okay, whatever. So there you go. So yeah. I see this trailer, and I see the Klingon with the face piercing, and I'm sorry, like, I have this. It's called like cosmophobia. Okay. I literally kind of find it disgusting for like metal versus flesh, jewelry wearing piercings. And so instantly I don't like that character. And it's got nothing to do with any other factor that I've got. I'm insane.
Yes.
So I don't know. It's very blah. And then on top of it, right, Magic the Gathering just announced all these Universe Beyond sets. And their last Magic set involved it's called Edge of Eternities. It involves space and starships and shit. And I'm like, oh, this is paving the way for Star Wars in Magic. And lo and behold, it's going to be Star Trek is going to be one of the universes beyond. And I'm like, what the hell? This is stupid. Come on. Like, Star Trek does not fit Magic. Think of Star Wars. You got the fucking lightsabers and the Force and the Force powers and the Millennium Falcon, the droids, which are perfect, like colorless artifact golems. Fuck yeah, that would be awesome. But no, we got Star Trek with their, TV remote phaser bullshit weapons. The only cool weapon, and that's a very loose label, is that Klingon batleth thing, which looks to be about the most ineffective bladed weapon that could possibly be imagined. And even if you see him fight it, it's just yikes. But this is in Magic. I digress. I've overly answered your question. I'm not a big Star Trek dude, so I didn't get much out of it.
I'm not going to disagree. Star Wars makes more sense because, as we've always said, it's a story about space wizards who use, the Force, which is like magic. And Star Trek has always been about finding a scientific explanation for things, finding the scientific answer. It's not about magic ever. I mean, there have been things that have happened in Star Trek movies and TV shows that are unexplained that could be magic. You've got
Didn't they find God in one of the movies or some shit?
Yeah, the
Journey Home or some shit. I don't know. Undiscovered.
No. Yeah.
I don't know, whatever.
It's the one where they fly to the center of the universe, and
I remember specifically that God character going, oh, yeah, I did like Star Trek.
Well, it gives you the greatest question in science fiction history, in my opinion, is James T. Kirk going, what does God need with a starship?
Right.
So, one of the best lines in one of the worst Star Trek movies. But you've got characters like Q, who's an omnipotent being with godlike powers that they don't ever explain his species. You've got that when they flew to the center of the universe and encountered that creature who was saying they were God. So there are things in Star Trek, the mind melding with the Vulcans, like this is an ability they have. They don't ever explain how the ability works. There's no scientific explanation in Star Trek for it. So, but I agree. again, when you're dealing with mythical kind of ideas, Star Wars is definitely more on that, on that side. So, I guess it's whoever they got the license from. Paramount probably is trying to be like, oh, we got to get Star Trek out there again more, especially we got this new show coming. No one's watching.
Surprisingly good comic, X-Men and Star Trek. Actually.
Yeah,
it's a pretty decent comic, to be honest with you.
But no one's watching Brave New Worlds, so
no. Was that the current shit? Is that a show or?
Yeah, I don't even know if it's on anymore. To tell you the truth, I haven't seen ads for it in a while, so I'm not even sure. I know that the Picard series came to an end because there was only 3 seasons, I believe, and the last season was basically like, let's get the old crew back together and have one last adventure. That was the whole thing. Which, yeah, like they basically pull the Enterprise D, which was destroyed in Generations, but it was rebuilt by Geordi, and they pull it out of mothballs and go having like. Anyway, it was stupid, but and I'm a Star Trek fan, and I'm saying this like, we didn't need that. We didn't need the old people crew, having one last adventure. It's just trying to get nostalgia.
Well, you remember when they brought the original onto Next Generation, right? Didn't they do that? I think I remember, Mike.
Pretty much every, the Frost Kelly who played Bones was in the very first episode of Next Generation. Scotty was on an episode. I'm trying to think. Was Uhura ever on it? I'm not sure. But yeah, like they all at one point guessed it until Generations came out, and then William Shatner was actually in the movie. He was like one of the main characters in the movie. So
is Kirk a better captain or admiral?
Well, first you have to ask the question: is Kirk a good captain? Because he's prime directive be damned to win the day, win the situation. Where Picard's like, well, we've got rules and we got to follow the rules. So, in that respect, Picard's a better captain.
Yeah.
In if you're in a military setting, he's the guy that's not going to get you court-martialed. Kirk's the guy that's going to get you court-martialed.
Yeah.
So
do you like the J.J. Abrams reboot? Let me ask you that. If you're a Trek fan, I don't want to explore that aspect of you much because we don't talk about it. But
I really liked the first movie.
Okay. But you didn't like the second one where what's that guy he plays Cumberbatch? He's like, I'm not Khan, I'm not Khan, I'm not Khan, I'm Khan.
Everyone knew it was. Like it was the worst. It was the worst kept secret in all of movie history. Everyone knew he was Khan. It was stupid because it was the second movie, and it's like, oh well, the second movie, the original cast was Khan, and it was just like, but you did nothing to set him up. Like they brought Ricardo Montalban in back to play Khan because he was Khan in the show, and actually fought Kirk, in the TV show. So it okay, so this was coming back, and he was getting his revenge on Kirk. But you never set that up in this universe because in the first movie he became captain of the Enterprise. So it's just like he had no encounters with Khan in the past. So it was stupid. Like it didn't work for me. That's what I like. It's okay. You don't care about actually writing good stories. You care about cashing in on Star Trek. So it's just like and the nostalgia. So that's when it lost me. The first one's a good story. It's well written. To do an alternate timeline thing, like to reboot it without it was rebooted in a very Star Trek way, where this I can't remember what they called it, but this like Nexus thing that basically rewrites the history. Kirk's father gets killed when he was young, so it changes who he is and all this stuff. So, yeah, it was a very, it's time travel. Spock goes back in time.
Yeah.
It's a very Star Trek reboot.
Question, most important question of the night. Does J.J. Abrams deserve some sort of seat at the pantheon of geekdom since he has directed both Star Trek and Star Wars? I don't feel he's recognized enough.
J.J.
In my
Abrams.
mind.
All right, this might be controversial. J.J. Abrams
Flip it.
is a good idea guy. He's not a good finisher. And the first, obviously, example of that is Lost. It's a great setup for a show. It's really cool. You're intrigued, like what's going on. And by the time you get to the ending of the show, you find out they were in purgatory the whole time. And it's like, why was I watching this? It's stupid.
That show is grounded in Catholicism. That's amusing.
And then Star Trek, he gives us a great first movie, and then it just falls apart after that. The second movie was just like, ugh.
So
Star Wars
kind of means they shouldn't have brought him in to close out the Star Wars
exactly.
sequel. Then he did not have the track record to do that,
and he comes,
and somehow Palpatine returns.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's my problem with J.J. Abrams. Good ideas starts, bad finishes. He needs to go back to school and learn how to write a good ending to a story arc.
I will admit, I still enjoy the sequel trilogy. I will admit, though, I do acquiesce to the thought of it being the weakest of the Star Wars trilogy. I will say that for those of you that think I'm a shill.
And here's the thing. He gave us the first one, which was setting up a new universe, but then washed his hands of Star Wars and walked away.
Not a good idea ever.
And then Rian Johnson was like, I'm just going to crap on everything J.J. Abrams set up. So
listen, and I dig what Rian Johnson was trying. I really do. I don't know why this offends people so much, but I do really get the whole, like, the Jedi were not the end all be all. I don't know why that fucks with people so much, because I understand it. I don't know. I digress.
Because they were the Jedi, the best.
They were not the best. They sit there and let the fucking Sith take over. Anyway, we're the Guardians of Peace. Oh, there's a war? Hey, we'll be your generals. Guardians of Peace generals, right? Makes completely sense. It's not an oxymoron at all. Anywho. Listen, I like Jedis and shit.
Stop it. All right. Well, let us know in the comments down below. A, Star Wars or Star Trek. Which do you prefer? And 2, are you looking forward to Starfleet Academy? And if so, are you planning to watch it? Let us know, and we'll discuss it all in the next episode. So, all right. Well, that's it. We came in and got that all done. So now it is time, as always, to ask that question we ask every episode.
What did we learn on the show tonight?
What'd you learn, Don?
I learned, take your weapon. I am unarmed. Strike me down. Every second that passes, you make yourself awesome. Anyway, Thrawn Kill. So I learned that Thrawn Kill joined us. So thank you, sir. And if you're not new, I'm sorry, I just don't recognize you until today. But we got Hunter Iggy here. He's asking some great questions. So that's what I learned, man. Oh, and I learned more about Earth X, that it's not just a Marvel graphic. Recommend.
All right.
Absolutely none. If you have the money, you're not poor like me. Final Fantasy Tactics remake is coming out, and buy it because I played the game several times over. It's awesome, and I can only imagine it being even better. The voice acting part there, that value. Great story. Have you ever played that, Dave?
Tactics? No, I've actually never played the Tactics. Yeah.
Wonderful game.
I've played like 4 or 5 of the Final Fantasy games, but never Tactics. So, maybe I should check it out. All right. I learned that yeah, we kind of do need a third for technical difficulty nights.
Yeah, there you go. See what he's working with here? Come on, give him somebody else here to work with.
And I also learned that Don wants, a hottie. I mean, wants a female
I have a
perspective.
hottie, sir. Oh,
So
yes,
do I.
on the show. I don't need a.
We want it.
It would help. It would help. Listen. I will never be dishonest. It would help.
Yes.
But
So yes, that's hopefully the future of the podcast. I have recommendations. None other than, you know what? Since it came
I
up,
recommend you get ready for some superhero speaking New York Comic Con.
yes. Well, yeah. I mean, I was gonna talk about that more next Sunday when,
Okay.
before we go. But
Special preview. I might be drunk while cosplaying. That'll be fun.
I'm gonna recommend, since we talked Star Trek tonight, my favorite of all the Star Trek shows, and this gets a little bit of controversy from people. Go watch Deep Space Nine.
I knew you were going to say that, and that would be the absolute last Star Trek that I would ever watch. I remember back then thinking, are you fucking kidding me? They go from a spaceship to now it's a rotating mini mall?
So the thing that's different from Deep Space Nine to all the other shows is that they were the only show, they knew where they wanted to start and they knew where they wanted to end, and they knew what beats they wanted to hit. They had a 7-year plan, and that's what they did. And like they did say there were things that were, a little different here and there along the way, that maybe they did something sooner than they thought, something later than they thought. But there was nothing on the show that was like, oh, we didn't plan for this, which when you go back and watch it, like it makes it more interesting because you're like, oh, cool,
Yeah.
And I think it makes it better, so they knew, because it's the idea of this unsure guy comes in to take command of this space station that's a treaty between us and the not the Kardashians, the
Kardashians.
Oh, I can't think of the other race's name off the top of my head.
Who's the space Kardashians?
Not Kardashians.
Big rumps.
Yeah, no. That joke is
lips.
Anyway, so it's supposed to be like a neutral place where people meet.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of tensions, on the ship, and then he becomes this confident guy who becomes the emissary and goes into the wormhole at the end of the show to live with the wormhole aliens. So
what hole?
What?
I said the what hole?
The wormhole. It's all that's what Deep Space Nine is there, is to guard the entrance of the wormhole. Like, I mean, come on. Jeez, know your Star Trek history. So
yeah, wrong guy.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's my recommendation. Go check that out if you've never watched it, because I think it's awesome.
You have to have better weapons than men's shavers for me to have interest. I'm sorry. I hate those pacers. They're so stupid. I'll shut up now. We're an hour 40 minutes into it.
The Klingons have disintegrators, so maybe that's what you prefer.
Straight up.
All right. Well, on that note, boys and girls, as always, thanks for watching. Don't let your cape get caught in the door. See you next time.
If you haven't done so yet, subscribe. It really keeps this podcast alive. Smash the like button if you please. It gives us what we need. Maybe leave a comment or two. It's a really nice thing to do. And what